Thanks everyone for taking the time to hear about Vega, the home buyers digital bank. In the UK, millions of home buyers are failed by the mortgage market. There are over 2.4 million households which are in rental accommodation, even though they can afford to buy their own home if they were offered a suitable mortgage. Midlife homeowners want to limit their refinancing risk but are unable to. Later life homeowners are really struggling to refinance in many cases. The pitfalls of the market are based around the fact that you need to refinance every 2 to 5 years. Lending is stress tested due to the risk of refinancing, and a quarter of the market is on an expensive SVR rate. The solution to this is Vega's long-term fixed interest rate mortgages, where you lock in the interest rates for the full term of the mortgage. It removes refinancing risk, lowers fees, less hassle, and enables renters to move into home ownership because we can lend them more. How does it work? We are a digital mortgage bank which issues covered bonds to fund mortgages. This is common on the continent, but not common on the UK, and can be totally transformational in the UK market. We have a very experienced team. We all have decades of experience with running businesses for State Street, JP Morgan, the Chief Risk Officer for Europe for Goldman Sachs, and the largest cover bond issuer in the world as part of our team, who is ex-ING. The target market is absolutely enormous. We're targeting a 1.5 trillion market initially. We can also increase that by targeting first-time buyers who are potentially another 400 billion in size, and later life borrowers, which is another potential of 600 billion. Our pricing compares very well with existing mortgages, but obviously has many additional attractive features. As an example, if you're a teacher and you're earning nearly £28,000 a year, if you move from a 2-bedroom flat to a Vega-funded 3-bedroom house, you would pay not only £85 less a month, but you would repay your mortgage. That would make you, after just 10 years, £44,000 better off in home ownership, plus the benefits of being happier and healthier living in your own home. It's totally transformational in society. Our route to market is via mortgage intermediaries, which dominate the market. 75% of the market in the UK is lending via that, and we offer them an attractive alternative product with a different income stream. We can generate nearly 100 or over 100 basis points in net margin, which on a per customer mortgage basis is over £1,500 a year. We have the customers for up to 10 years, which means we're generating over £15,000 per customer we onboard. We have fantastic positive momentum with demand from buyers of the mortgages, our product and platform, and very strong partners in place already. What is our target today? We are raising 2 million seed capital to fund the initial bank setup at an 8 million pre-money valuation, which covers 18 months of the regulatory process. We have spent over 1 year in building our systems and working towards applying with the regulator, which we are doing as we speak, and are very excited to transform the UK mortgage market. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate hearing any questions.
Michael, judges, you can go on video now and give feedback and ask any questions.
Yes, Michael, thank you very much. I think it's very interesting what you're building. Significant and growing problem in society in general. Hey, I was just wondering, like in terms of the bond investors that you have, do you already have commitments from them and from different players, or can you tell us a bit more about that?
It's a good question indeed. So there are 2 stages to the bond issuance. The first thing is that we set up a warehouse with the bank, which we're in discussions with now, and then they buy the covered bonds. We have had initial discussions. The demand for covered bonds is enormous. What we need to do is achieve the ratings and the asset-backed basis they need. So there's really no limitation. You see billions issued. Typically a 1 billion issuance takes half a day to do. So there's no size limitation on the covered bond side. We just need to meet their goals.
And who's doing the risk scoring at the moment?
Okay, so we are building our own platform. In fact, on this page, you see part of this is in their operations team. We want to build a unique, beyond current market risk platform. And we have the two leading advisors to help us build that in the UK who do specialize in mortgage risk platforms, which is J-Wing and Penn. And where you're going to use open banking, which effectively nobody yet uses in mortgages in the UK.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
One question from my side. I'm from Germany, so the market is different from the UK, obviously. But two questions. One is, what makes you better than my regular bank? As a matter of fact, in Germany, we get better rates than you just displayed. So that's one. And the second, since it's a long-term scope, who's actually taking the risk when people might think that interest rates will go up over time?
Okay, so two very good questions. And the reason you can get a better rate in Germany is why we want to bring that product to the UK. So it's absolutely perfect. And the market isn't efficient here. It should be as efficient as it is in Germany, in Holland, in Denmark, etc. And that's what we are bringing. The banks in the UK are not incentivized to provide this product. In fact, they have told the government who wants to bring this into the UK, as recently in the last couple of months, they will not bring this product. And the reason they won't is it's not in their interest. They fund their mortgages through cash deposits, and that's short term. The risk is taken by us, and we have sophisticated hedging and to match the duration. So we effectively swap everything to floating, and then as durations don't meet our expected, we re-hedge. So it's very minimal risk.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Michael, question on my side, Thomas here. Why are you narrowing down your market to only 2.4 million people?
Oh, we're not narrowing down to just that piece, but that is just the number who currently can't get a mortgage. We are targeting the whole market, so we're targeting, when we speak to brokers, they think that roughly we could target 10% of the existing 1.5 trillion market of existing, and then in addition, grow it by the 2.4 million, and that's first-time buyers, and also later life, which is an even bigger segment, those who are going into retirement, who want to know what their payments look like.
But why are you going after this segment? That there might be a reason why they're not having access to the markets and not to the segment of people having to refinance their mortgage.
So we're going after all of them, but we highlight the first-time buyers because that is a very high margin segment. We can charge more for that than if you are competing with a 2-year fixed mortgage, the margins are quite tight. Some of them will want to move to our market, but later life is higher margin than the traditional mortgages, and so are first-time buyers. So they're just higher margin segments, which is why we find them attractive. We're definitely going after the whole market, and as I said, when we speak to brokers, they think roughly 10% could be interested in our product.
Okay.
Thank you, Thomas.
And your time is up. Great presentation, great questions and feedback from the judges. So up next, we have Slavas from OffSchool.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, Veronica. Just 1 second. Let me share my pitch. All right. Can you see my pitch, Jack?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, perfect.
You have 4 minutes.
Yeah. All right, then. So, hey, everyone. My name is Slavas Pelkavicius, and I'm the CEO and founder of OffSchool. So let's get straight to it. Who are we and what is OffSchool? So the OffSchool is a free language learning app, and it's a spin-off project of Soul Education. You know, we can talk forever on how learning languages is important. Unfortunately, the learning a foreign language can be expensive, especially if you take college course or pay for private tutoring. So we asked ourselves, how can we make learning accessible to everyone? So allow me to present to you the OffSchool language learning app, always free, always interactive, always live, streaming live lessons on a daily basis. The beauty of OffSchool is that students can study as long as they want with us. But when they require an official certificate, they will have to purchase it at a cost of just £19. The monetization structure will also include an in-app and streaming advertising, international test shop, online merchandise shop. After conducting competition analysis, we've realized that none of the largest providers of language learning apps are free, and neither of them are able to organize proper live lessons, nor give tangible results to their clients. The OffSchool here can. So let's ask ourselves, how can we? So first of all, we have a network of 4,000 sales agents worldwide and in more than 130 countries. Our potential reach is more than 1 billion 7 to 19-year-olds. And more importantly, we have gathered the academic content for 45 years, which is in the bookshelves now and which can be used immediately. So our projected revenues are £29 million by 2023. The calculations carefully made with the help of financial advisors based on the international research and on need of accredited certificates of the language presented in the revenues table. Our net profit margin is 31% and a payback period of less than 3 years. OffSchool's post-money valuation has been set to £5.3 million by Seeders.com. We are currently at the early stage with an MVP launch on the 21st of June. Our current round target is £500,000 with almost half already funded through the crowdfunding campaign on Seeders.com, where we've raised 252K. The success of this project is hardly possible without the team, me as the head of the project, with 20 years experience in international education, including successful exits. Laurent Potier, head of the agency in Belgium, is developing our sales network. Christopher Ritalik, Cambridge University alumnus, can be a better suit for an academic development. And our CTO and lead angel investor, John Craig, the owner of multiple manufacturing and tech companies in Germany. And the best example of the teams, as well as the network strength, is the advisory board, which consists of professionals from all over the world and different industries. So to conclude, we strongly believe we are transforming learning by making quality education accessible to millions. We invite you to join us on this journey. And that's the pitch. So if you have it, let's get straight to them.
Thank you, Slavas, for the pitch. Judges, can you give Slavas feedback, or do you have any questions about the company?
Slavas, one question.
Yeah.
So I think language learning in general is quite a competitive market. It's a huge one, but competitive as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, sorry, go on.
Yeah. I wanted to comment, so please continue with the question. Sorry for that.
No problem. So I was just wondering, what do you think in terms of capital requirements of your business to grow it really big?
All right, so let's straight away start with the competitiveness of the language market. Because it's the spin-off project, we already have the company which we bought during the pre-seed stage, which called the Soul Education. We bought it especially to have all the academic content, all the networks, etc. And we've been able to build the company within 2 years as the top 5 in the world for the junior language providers. So this is when it comes to the possibility of the scaling. I will come back to the capital now, but just first of all about how large is the market. The market is $41 billion. It's $41 billion, and at the moment, when it comes to the language learning apps market, which is not yet calculated when it comes to the part which takes from the whole market during the pandemic, we can see that the market is completely not. Not used sure. As we want it. Yeah. So generally speaking, what we want to do, we're bringing completely unique form of education. We're bringing real lessons, life lessons into the market. No one does it in the market. And when it comes to the competitors, no one can do without investment and the further and big investment, which we can do, which we already have, because we purchased the company, we did the whole thing, and we have the experience. So for us, the total funds which we need to get within the next 3 years is £5.5 million. And for this round, we have the cap of 600K, which we put together. So we don't want to raise more. In case we're not reaching their targets, we are going to be using our own funds. But generally speaking, our target for this time is 545,000, and then we're going to the next stage.
Thanks.
Slavas, one question here.
Yeah.
So if I understand well, so everything will be for free, will provide a better content than the competition. And then you're going to make money if people decide to buy the certificates. Question I have is, why do I need a certificate if I don't know the language? Why do I need to on your platform?
That's the question which every single VC asks us, every single angel investor asks us. And this is where we are professionals, and this is what we're doing. Whenever we do and organize every single summer camp, there are courses and everything, every time the main question is the certificate. Because anytime, whenever the students are going, the kids or anything, it depends on the market. So let's say if it's China, and we do have the research done per country. If it's China, it's a tradition for the Chinese parents to have their certificates after each course is finished. As it comes to Europe, most of the certificates are needed only for the university, only for the employer, or anytime whenever it comes to their to the proof of their level. What we've calculated that we will be selling 2% of certificates of the users, which is, I think, it's come a decent number when it comes to marketing. We're marketing freaks, and by the book, we would have to sell at least 3% of the product. Generally speaking, we've calculated 2%. The certificates are always needed. There will be different strategies, marketing strategies per country. Let's say France, per research done in France, the French parents just don't need it. And the main thing for us and the main strategy for France would be more social. We would be advertising, help less fortunate, and pay for the certificate, help less fortunate.
Slava, so you say your conversion is 2% out of all the people using your platform?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds like you have to upfront a lot of capital and resources, and you get only a 2% conversion in the end.
This is
risky, to be honest.
No, I do understand. It's whenever it comes, to anyone who does work or doesn't work in the market with us. But for us, 2% is quite big, because when it comes to the number of students, we are calculating as minimum as it possible that we will have 25 million users within the 3 years. We have a reach of 1 billion. We are every single year bringing more than 5,000 students to the UK. And so you can imagine we are bringing them with at least 1,000 per week, which they are paying when they're coming to the UK. So you can imagine how much we can sell when it's free. And we just know the market. I'm in the market for more than 20 years. If you have more questions, we would be able to go through the due diligence. I would be able to prove you through their research, through their history of sales, which we have.
Thank you, Slavas. Your time is up now. Great presentation.
Thank you very much.
Questions and feedback from the judges.
Thank you very much, everyone.
So up next, we have Dash from TUBR. And a reminder for judges, Stefan, if you could please mute yourself during the pitch and to go off video.
Sure.
Thank you. Hello.
Let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, can see it. Okay, you have 4 minutes.
All right, thank you. Hi, so what if you could solve more with less data? Modern technology is wonderful if you have a large supply of stable data points consistently flowing, but what if you don't? TUBR is building a platform that can make faster and more frequent predictions in complex environments with less data. So we set out to solve a problem. I was sick of strangers' armpits in my face on overcrowded trains. And with COVID, our research revealed that 60% of people felt the same. But access to the data that we needed to solve the problem was non-existent. And the technology available to work with the data we did have hadn't been advanced since the 90s. So if we could solve this problem for public transport, then other sectors with similar issues would benefit from the technology as well. Our solution, while complex, is simple to understand. We put the power of TUBR ML into the palm of your hands. We generate time-based predictions for public transport at 1-minute intervals, giving us the ability to utilize every minute in travel, effectively balancing out the service. So how does it work? We've built a machine learning algorithm that can learn and make predictions with fewer data points than traditional models. In addition, we've improved the processing of the data so we can visualize and make predictions more frequently. And when we talk about competitors building machine learning with fewer data points, we're kind of in a league of our own, but I think we should just take a minute to address our ability to compete in the transport market. So we know we're likely to be compared to a journey planner, but we aren't a journey planner. We're a real-time journey assistant with a built-in crowd navigator for the rider. We're the only app focused solely on providing users the ability to manage their own transport experience, and our machine learning allows us to respond quickly in rapidly changing environments. So we have a phased approach to revenue. Advancing technology requires a period of development and data collection, but before the end of the year, we plan to take our proposition to market, first with TUBR data and then followed by TUBR ML. We've built our ML in a way that allows us to grow and expand quickly, and that's our plan. Our forecasts are based on current conversations with prospective clients and then other market opportunities. We plan to bring on 28 TUBR data clients in 2022, and with the maturity of our machine learning, we'll see the ability to generate revenue faster in 2023. And the future looks bright. We're already working on a proof of concept for our data proposition, which innovates the way we use data in the smart city landscape. We can now understand where and how to connect directly with riders and potentially avoid negative experiences on public transport systems. And because of this, we're gathering letters of interest and intent to work with us from transport planners and digital marketers. And on top of that, our app is seeing consistently, completely organic growth. So I'm Josh Tabor. I lead the team with a master's in city planning and sustainable development. I have a decade of experience building data propositions for Experian, StreetViews, and Sainsbury's. Nikhil Kanta is our CTO. He's the mastermind behind our technology. He has a master's in physics and a deep understanding of time series machine learning. And Kelly Pollard is our chief customer officer, and she's the face behind our design and brand. She has a master's in design and a passion for translating the user's voice into our product. We're raising $500K to take TUBR data and TUBR ML to market. And we'd love to invite you on the journey. So if you have more questions, please reach out and let us know.
So much for the judges. Can you give feedback, or do you have any questions about the company?
Yeah, I have a question. I didn't really understand how you collect the data or where do you get it from. That's the one question. The second question is, what about the market size? That is a very London-specific issue. How can you scale to other markets, and how large do you think the potential is?
Yes. Okay. So the data question first is, we collect data in a couple different ways. So we've analyzed historical data and also the events that happen that impact that. So we have several different data streams coming in from that perspective. And then we collect data from our user. So there's opportunities for them to feedback in the app or location tracking, of which they have the opportunity to go and turn on. And because crowdsourced data is something that is not always in abundant supply, that's where the technology is really the important part, because we're able to learn with a lot less data points. So the feedback that we get is actually quite valuable. And then the second question was size of the market. So the mobility data market is worth about 49 billion. The machine learning market that we think that will play in is around 11 billion. And there are 156 mass transit systems in the world and 53 billion riders. So we aren't the only, or London isn't the only market where they're seeing this problem. Toronto, we've had requests from people in Toronto, Manchester. We have a lot from Manchester. Apparently the trams there are very busy. Boston, even Paris. So we see, especially with Corona and just the fact that our tolerance for being in crowded places has lessened, we see us being able to roll out quite quickly in other areas.
Thanks.
There's one question for me. So, where I didn't fully get where you get the majority of your revenues from if your company is a bit mature.
Yes. So we heard an echo for you.
Hey, judges, if you could mute yourself, please, while other people talk. I think we're getting feedback from one of the speakers. Sorry about that. But when you want to talk, just jump in. Veronica, if you could give an extra minute, just because we're dealing with these issues.
Oh, so revenue stream. So we have a phased revenue stream. So our first monetization strategy is to take the data that we collect and provide it to smart city planners. We're talking to an outdoor digital agency right now. What's unique about what we're collecting is we're able to actually track the entire path. So when you take location-based data now, it's done in polygons, and you're not actually able to see the exact movement of how people move or how things go around, especially when you're underground. So that's the unique proposition for us from a data perspective, because we're starting to understand the paths of people movement, and that can be used. So for the outdoor digital agency, they know that a certain number of people would be walking by their sign in this 15-minute period. So it allows them to innovate how they charge and use their products. And then for like a smart city planner, some of the use cases that we're looking at are, if they want to close a street, they can understand that there's pedestrian paths a lot more people using this street than another street, and that kind of helps manage those flows. So just two examples there. And then the second stream is off the machine learning. So once we've built the machine learning to a point where we're ready to take it to market, some of the other use cases we're exploring right now, or you could apply it to, say, waiting rooms for hospitals, an area where you don't have a lot of data but you can then start to predictively learn and continuously learn that way.
Okay, got it.
That's one question for me. When I look in the city of London, I live in London, there are probably 6 million people having downloaded Citymapper. How do you compete with those guys?
That's a good question. It's one that we get a lot. So when I first started my research, it's actually pre-COVID, I started asking people, how do you plan your journeys? And the majority of people told us that they use more than one app to plan their journey. And so they'll go to, the weather app, they'll go to Trainline, they'll go to Citymapper, they check Google Maps. And this element of experience is something that they felt they could never have control over. So basically what we're doing is we're not saying we're going to give you all the planned routes that you possibly can and all these different options. We're going to give you the best route for you, and we're going to let you tell us what you want your experience to be, and we'll use our machine learning algorithm to make sure that happens, or to get as close as possible. So we're providing a different service.
Your time is up now, Dash. Thank you for the pitch, and thank you for questions and feedback from the judges. So up next, we have Gil from RENTCOUNT.
Hi guys, bear with me one moment. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, are you guys able to see my pitch?
Yeah, you have 4 minutes.
Perfect. Hi, my name is Gil. I'm the founder and CEO of RENTCOUNT, and today I'd like to introduce you to a business that is looking to disrupt and change the way the property industry and the rental market works. The team behind the RentCount platform is experts and experienced in their specialist fields. What RentCount is, RentCount helps tenants to build their credit score simply by paying their rent on time. The problem at the moment is tenants' largest expense is their rental payment. However, they don't get an improved credit score like someone paying a mortgage payment does at this very moment, and nor does it work as evidence as financial commitment when applying for a mortgage or car finance or etc. However, we have created a solution which is a web and app platform which helps to boost the credit score simply through rental payments using the open banking platform. Landlord and real estate agents get timely payments due to this fact, and also government agencies are able to audit and track payments that have been given through universal credit, so they know that the payments are going to the relevant party. The market is absolutely enormous. There's $500 billion worth of rent going through the US and 50 billion through the UK, with 280,000 real estate agents and 100 million tenants just in the US alone. Market validation, when we started our MVP, we had 19 real estate agents that had signed up within 2 months who were really interested in the concept. There is small amounts of competition. It's still a very new industry. We do have a competitive advantage where we offer free referencing for tenants, landlords, and guarantors. We also have real-time payments for real estate agents through the open banking platform, so there's no need to access your bank account. We've got years of experience in the property industry. Myself, I have been in the industry since 14, so hence where the idea has come from. And we will also be the only firm by June that will be in the US and the UK together. We're FCA regulated, we're powered by Equifax, and we use the open banking platform. It's a very simple concept. You register yourself, you get verified by API for identity, you get your verification for the lease agreement with your estate agent as well as your landlord, and then you connect to the open banking platform where we take that data and send it to reference agencies. We're hoping to work alongside estate agents, sponsor property portals, even universities, helping youngsters educate them in credit aspect and get their payments on board, and work with government agencies. The idea and the vision for this is to create a legislation just like DPS, Deposit Registration Scheme. The roadmap at this moment is we're here, so we are just working on our Android and iOS UX and UI, and we will be looking to expand in June and July into Canada as well. Current countries, and hopefully with our strategic partners with Equifax, we will be looking to get to 18 countries in the next 2 to 3 years. We're looking to raise $700,000, which will be initial investment, and that funding will be used towards product development, brand and marketing, personnel and operations. We charge $25, which works out to be about £18 in UK, and that is per tenant for each subscription. And our revenue is very steady, and as you can see, it does expand very rapidly when we do move into new markets and new countries. By 2023, we are hoping to have 1 million subscribers, which will give us a revenue of 25 million, and by 2025, 1.125. And just to finish on my presentation, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do. I'm happy to take any questions, and any feedback would be great.
Thank you, Gil, for the great pitch. Judges, can you give Gil some feedback or any questions that you have?
Yes, thank you very much, Gil. I was just wondering, how would you define your defensibility of your product?
Sorry, could you repeat that, Martin? What do you mean by differentiality to?
Defensibility. So if it is such a huge opportunity as you are forecasting, how difficult would it be for competitors to replicate it?
Well, the situation with the replication, unfortunately, that's the issue with most startups. You know, if someone comes in that's obviously got a huge budget, it is speed to market, which is key. At this moment, you know, we have time on our hands where we have been working on the MVP for over 7 to 8 months. We do have strategic partners as Equifax who are working alongside us. So we're hoping that will get us ahead of the game, really. You know, and working with the likes of universities and getting someone onto the platform for the next 4 to 5 years would be absolutely key. Get them on while they're 18 and until they're able to purchase their own property in the future.
Okay.
For additional advice or feedback for Gil?
Maybe one feedback, as I said already, I'm from Germany, and in Germany and probably in other continental European markets, that market just doesn't exist. So I think, yeah, it works for UK and obviously for Canada and the US, as you mentioned. It's going to be tough to come to the other European markets.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that, Stefan, because it is a case of a culture of Germans are typically renting, right? It's more than purchasing a property. May I ask why that is?
That's a good question. I have no idea, but you usually do not need to present any credit score for your rental agreement.
And how about a credit score for any other purchases, like a car lease or anything along those lines?
Of course, we have that too, and we have one strong institution called Schufa, which kind of derives your credibility based on your banking activity, and everybody looks for the Schufa as one reputable key of credibility, I would say.
Perfect. Now, I really appreciate the feedback, Stefan.
To hear any additional feedback or questions from other judges that hasn't spoken yet? Sarah, do you have something to say to Jill?
I mean, my background's, well, I'm an edtech and health tech investor, so this is certainly not the area of expertise. But one thing I would say is just to pick up on what Stefan said. I do believe that what he said is similar across other countries in Europe. I used to live in Spain, and I think culturally it's very similar in the rental, the preference for rental. And so, yeah, my question would be across sort of the European market, you know, how you can achieve that scale with those kind of cultural barriers.
Yeah, so the idea and the vision for this would also be, and something we're in conversation with Equifax at this very moment, is also be looking at other aspects. So gym memberships, nursery fees, you know, if we can use that data and improve someone's credit score, as Stefan mentioned about car leasing, there's always some sort of financing that you need that, you know, a credit file is always important. And if we can help boost that score and help the guys with maybe even damaged reports or someone who hasn't been looking after their report, because the credit aspect is so important in this day and age.
Great, thank you, Gail. Your time is up now. Great pitch and great questions and feedback from the judges. So,
yeah, really appreciate that.
Up next, we have Alessandro from KnowledgePillars.
Hello, everyone. My pitch. I can hear myself.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's all good. It's all clear.
Okay, no. I can't find it. It's weird. Can you see my screen?
No, do you see the monitor button under your video?
Yes, and it is a P. That's weird. Okay. Let me know if you can see it now.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, my apologies. Okay. So thanks for the opportunity to speak about my business, KnowledgePillars. We are a body of IT certification focusing on coding and web development. First thing that I would like to do is to introduce my team. This is one of the assets of this organization. We are a team that have been working together for a decade at least at Certiport, a global leader in the IT certification. And some of the members of this team have been contributed actively in building certifications now well known worldwide, such as Microsoft Office Specialist or a Microsoft Technology Associate. And we have an average expertise of 20 years in the IT certification and training industries. the problem is the famous skills gap. So basically is the inability from the employers to find the right candidate. And we believe that there are obviously multiple factors for this, but one that we are targeting and try to address is the fact that we don't believe exists a concrete and real tool to measure the skills in the right way. Because tools such as IT certifications at the moment, they test the skills based on knowledge rather than practical aspects. And that's why we came up with the technology that is live in the app and 100% web-based. This technology put the students in the position to answer questions based on scenario tasks, and they need to basically code. So for the developer, obviously being tested on their ability to code is the best thing possible for showing their ability and their skills. And this adds a new level of reliability, because obviously when you need to code or you need to use a tool, web development, you cannot guess, you just need to know how to use it. At the moment, we're live with 2 certifications, exams, one on Python and the other one on WordPress, which is a unique. We are the only organization having a WordPress certification. We have a traction and validation roadmap for the next few years that will take us in developing. Actually, we are currently developing new programs, and we are expanding internationally as well. We have already received a very positive feedback from the market. We have now a network of 10 partners, some training providers in Europe, EMEA, and a training provider in the United States called Codesters. And that leads me to the massive achievement that we have accomplished, because we've been listed at the Florida Department of Education, at the Career Professional Education. So we are part now of the funding program for the K-12 school districts of all 67 districts in Florida. And that's why we partner with Codesters, because they have 150,000 students already in mid-school, and they will extend to them our certifications program. Based on that and the other business conversation we have with some major vendors and partners in Europe and in the United States, we believe that we can achieve around 5 million by year 3 by doubling our sales in year 1, 2, and 3. And this is just considering only the 2 exams, without considering any practice test that we are developing a training learning platform, as well as other programs that we are developing and will be live by summer. We are seeking to raise $1 million to hire 2 sales professionals in the United States and 1 in Europe, as well as taking care, obviously, of the development and the content development of our certifications. And that's it. So I'll be
Thank you
back.
so much, Alessandro. Judges, can you give Alessandro feedback, or do you have any questions about the company?
Hi, Alessandro. Just
Sarah.
a quick question on your sort of distribution strategy and your target market. So are you primarily going after K-12 students, or is there a B2C element to this? Yeah, if you could explain that kind of target market a little bit clearer.
Yeah, so we, based on our experience, there is a huge difference in the, also culturally speaking, about the concept of the certification between the United States or North America and Europe. And that's why in North America, we are specifically targeting K-12 and colleges, but we don't do that just on a B2C. B2C is something that obviously it comes slowly and by itself. What we are doing is applying to be listed at the program funding in all the 50 states. But the priority is Florida, because Florida is probably the more peculiar and the one that works in a very specific way and gives us an open door, a key to open the doors in several other states. We are now applying, and we are 99% sure to be successful also in Texas, California, New York, and Utah. So that's just to give you an idea. Did I answer your question?
You did, thank you. And do you mind me just asking as a follow-up on that, what is your sales cycle? Because that is the problem we're trying to sell to schools and selling to schools districts, is that, you know, sales cycles are long and often incredibly uncertain, with potentially not the most lucrative final outcome as well. So yeah, if you could explain why you think you have like an edge in that, and why you think that you will be able to execute on that.
Well, we've been basically, we have a specific expertise in the K-12 in the United States. Three members of our team have a background in focusing in building certification and make it fit for the K-12 and school districts, as well as for the funding program. The key is the funding program. So if we go there without a funding program from a federal or anyway state funding perspective, we are not going to be successful, because as you said, the sales cycles are long and we don't know how and when we're going to get paid. So the funding program put us in a position to get paid a little bit earlier. We are talking anyway about 6 months probably is the average. But for instance, Florida that's why it's also a massive achievement, because they pay and they close the deal very, very quickly, meaning that we have obviously already approached the school district, and we are already building a pipeline. We have several orders ready to go. They are waiting just for the time in which they buy to start, which is generally July. They make an initial purchase between July and September. Then again, they buy in November. So overall, it's a 6 months sales cycle, but they pay as they order. That's a good thing, at least in some of the states in the United States. But the key is the program funding. Thank you.
Any other questions from the judges or feedback? We have 1 minute left and would like to hear from Thomas, Stefan, Martin.
Yeah, sure. So Alessandro, I was wondering, how much effort would it take you to launch new programs, and how much can you?
So the programs, new exams, obviously, we are talking about, right?
Exactly.
It takes a little bit, not from the technical perspective. With the technology that we built allow us to upload the new exams into hours. The problem is all the content development, because we need to go through very specific standard review settings, and also the psychometrics. So it takes us generally a month if things work well and we get in touch with all the subject matter experts at the right time. And we have actually developed a new way to get in touch with them, because we, rather than creating the sessions, we made the video, so in order to accelerate the delivery. But anyway, I don't think that it's going to take us less than a month, because we need to be sure that we are releasing a product fit to market.
And that's typically third parties that would develop the content?
No, the content, yes, obviously third party in sense of subject matter expert. We use, we have a network of trainers and teachers that we, both from Australia, Europe, and the United States, that come together and they participate in the standard review settings.
Okay.
Good. Thanks a lot for your question.
Maybe a last one, if there's time. How do you make sure that your certificates are honored? I mean, since everybody could provide a certificate, why taking yours?
Well, being a body of certification is something that obviously you can always declare to be, but then you need the expertise to build an exam, which is something completely different. We come also from an expertise in the industry, so we know how to build the technology from one side, but we also know what it takes to build a proper exam from a psychometrics perspective. Also,
Alessandra, I'm sorry, your time is up now, but I'm sure you can catch up later.
No problem.
Thank you for a great presentation, questions, and feedback from the judges.
Thank you very much.
Up next, we have Chloe from Cheapskate.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant. Let me just share my screen. Can you all see that okay?
Yeah. Okay, so you have 4
Brilliant.
minutes.
Great. Thank Thank you. So, hi everyone, my name's Chloe and I'm the Head of Operations at Cheapskate. So we all know that feeling when you're online shopping, you've added all your items to your basket and you see that empty box where you want to put a discount code, but you realize you don't have one. If you're anything like me, I'll then go and leave the site that I'm on, I'll search for discount code, but most of the time, either they don't work or I can't find one. Now I know I'm not alone in this. 5 million Brits are currently missing out on deals and discount code savings, and 30% of shoppers use a discount code every time they shop online. So essentially, everyone is a cheapskate. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter whether you've got loads of money, everybody gets that buzz from finding a deal and saving. The problem is, it's really hard work. Our product, Cheapskate, is here to make this easy. Cheapskate is your digital shopping assistant, which will revolutionize the way in which people shop and save money. By merging the high street and online retail worlds, we provide an addictive, gamified lens on the discount shopping experience. Cheapskate is also a multi-platform product to ensure that our users never pay full price, no matter how they like to shop. For example, if you like to online shop, the Cheapskate browser extension allows users to instantly apply any live deals and discount codes to their basket and to track the price of an item that they would like to buy. Now, this is already launched. It's available to download on our website, and we've seen really promising traction with this product already. It was actually ranked 5th for retail on the desktop app store back in March as we launched, which was fantastic. And then if you like to shop in person, if you like to shop on the high street, our mobile app is your pocket shopping tool and uses your location to basically tell you what deals are available in your area. Now, this is coming soon this summer. So essentially, we're there for you whether you like to shop online or whether you like to shop on the high street. Cheapskate's free to download and it's a no-brainer for saving money. But Cheapskate doesn't just benefit customers. In the retail industry, 70% of online shopping baskets are abandoned, with the biggest reason for this being price. As you can imagine, this amounts to a huge industry-wide loss in potential revenue, and customer loyalty is a massive problem. By encouraging customers to stay on your e-commerce site, Cheapskate can help retailers to drive this down, essentially. So we know we're onto something here. The product has massive potential, but how do we actually turn this fantastic product into a commercially viable business? So there are a number of potential revenue streams from Cheapskate. However, initially, our business model is based on affiliate marketing. So this is where we earn a commission whenever a customer uses Cheapskate with their purchase. We're also in a really unique position in that the last 2 years we've been building our product and we actually have very minimal future cost production, and the majority of our investment ask will be spent on marketing. Also, with our affiliate marketing revenue stream, we can and are making money right now. So we spend a lot of time focusing on building a product and establishing ourselves as a team. However, as we aim to grow and accelerate our business, we're looking for investment. Now, Cheapskate is SEIS and EIS approved and is currently seeking an investment of £750,000. The purpose of this investment being to, firstly, to full-time employ our core team, to launch and enhance our product, and to execute our marketing strategy. Now, with the 750K we're raising our seed round, we project this money will take us up to Q3 of 2022. If we then assume that we're successful in one further post-seed funding round, we'll be able to achieve positive profit by our 3rd operational year. Our vision at Cheapskate is really simple: to make money saving easy so that no customer pays full price again. We'd love to share the product with you today so you can try out the Cheapskate Live for yourself and welcome any further questions. Thank you for your time.
So much, Claire, for the pitch. Judges, can you give some feedback, or do you have any questions about the company?
Thanks, Chloe. Sorry, I partly had a hard time understanding you, so I'm not sure. Are you live already or not? And if so, what kind of traction can you tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are live on one of our products. So the product is made up of 2 separate products, basically. So a browser extension, which sits at the top of your browser on your desktop, which is live. And then we also have a mobile app, which is launching in the summer.
can you tell us a few KPIs on how that works and how that's adapted from customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have seen great traction with this already. In terms of KPIs, we do have a small user base at the moment because we've been bootstrapped up to this point. But I think, as I mentioned earlier, we were like 5th on the retail desktop app store once we launched. So there's definitely some initial interest that we're seeing in the product.
Thank you, Chloe. Can you tell us a bit more about your customer acquisition strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a bit of an estimate in terms of our cost per acquisition strategy from just what we've done already. But do you mean in terms of how we want to acquire customers, or specifically the cost?
Maybe both.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the actual cost per acquisition, this is obviously slightly different for desktop versus mobile users. But on the industry average is around £7, and ours has been reasonably close to that as well. And in terms of how we want to acquire customers, we're in a really fortunate position in that it's very mass market. We're a free extension. We save you money. So in some ways, the appeal is huge to a lot of people. But what we do want to focus on with this product is focusing on our early adopters, essentially. So what we've been doing the last year is focus grouping and finding where the customers are that are essentially going to love this product and targeting market towards them first. So we've got some key kind of personas that's essentially about how we reach them. And that's our go-to-market strategy.
And do you also have any idea on how long it will take you to earn back the customer acquisition cost on these customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So it depends to some extent whether the customer uses both products, because if they use both, we've obviously got more revenue opportunities. We're looking to make around £12 in our first year, and the cost per acquisition is about £9. So in that first year, we should make the money back on average. And then hopefully, obviously, we don't have that same cost per acquisition in the second year, so we can make far more income as we go on.
Okay. Thanks.
1 minute. Any additional feedback for the company or?
Maybe one more question. I've seen over the years several attempts to provide these browser extension based coupon provisioning, and as far as I know, none of them have been successful yet. That doesn't mean anything, but why do you think things change now and you're going to be successful?
I'd potentially question that. Honey, who's one of our direct competitors, was just bought by PayPal for $4 billion. So actually, I think there is quite a lot of potential within this market. I think the timing's worked really well in terms of online shopping has absolutely soared in the last few years. And as you say, there are more of these browser extensions popping up and people are getting used to the technology. So timing wise, we think it is almost the perfect time for this to happen in a lot of ways. And the fact that we do have the mobile app as well makes a big difference. Obviously, people are very acclimatized to using those. And that's something that our competitors don't have as well. So we see the markets being very, very ready for this product.
Thank you so much, Chloe, for the great presentation. And thank you, judges, for your questions and feedback. So up next, we have Jenna from Millie.
Everyone, 1 second. Let me share my screen. Can you guys all see my screen?
Can't see it now.
You can see it or you can't see it? Okay, 1 second. Let me see. All right, share.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jenna, and I'm a co-founder and CEO of Millie. First up, I want to say that it's surreal to be here, to be presenting my edtech company, because when I was in college as in university, I thought I would never be able to graduate because I couldn't pay for my tuition. And I actually built my own tutoring company at that time and then made $200,000 and graduated with that money. Fast forward to 2019, I was a vice president of AI research at JP Morgan. And when I told my parents that I'm going to quit my job to build another tutoring company, my parents thought that I've gone out of my mind. But it's exciting to share that we just won a 3rd place at the Columbia Startup Challenge, and we just hit 250K in our revenue. So without further ado, let's get started about what Millie is. So Millie brings the power of, Millie is a social edtech social enterprise, bringing the power of mentors to 12,000 international schools and its 6 million students around the world. We believe high school education should do 3 things. So first off is academics, and second off is your university or your next step preparation. Thirdly is your career preparation. But unfortunately, what we learned is whether you go to the top boarding school in Switzerland or a small, town public school in the US, schools can typically only take care of the first 1.5 because of the capacity constraints. This is where Millie comes in. How do we do so? We work with schools as our channel partner. Let's say Hogwarts is our partner school, and everyone at Hogwarts gets access to our career and university prep mentoring sessions for free. And the benefit for the school is all the college prep hours, the parents' night or the orientation night that Millie fills in those hours with the state-of-the-art news about the careers as well as university, and then top-of-the-world mentors from around the world. The benefit for Millie is we have no marketing cost, we have no ad spend, we have no venue costs, because the first 2 is taken care by the school partnership. And then the third one, because when we have even like a hybrid event, schools provide the venue for us. And a fraction of these students join our paid program, which are academic tutoring and portfolio prep and college admissions guidance. And by having this structure, we are not only having an impact to hundreds of students at once, but we're profitable. What's more is the content that we created is available on our platform for everyone to access. Here's how the full Millie experience looks like. So the workshops that we create in school as well as during the weekend, we have more than 150 hours of webinar that we created in 2020, offered for free. And in the middle, you would see that the paid tutoring courses that's done on our proprietary learning platform. Our partner school counselors are some of our biggest advocates, and we also sponsor 1 promising underprivileged student for every 10 paid students. To date, we've given more than $20,000 worth of services for free, and we sponsored the student from Turkmenistan, we sponsored the Afghan refugee woman, and it's something that I could have only dreamed of doing before Millie. So it takes a lot to do what we do, because it's really the combination of the school's mentors and students, and you're looking at the dream team to make this happen. So like I said, my background is in tech and AI and data science. So I take care of the product and then tech side of the things. And my co-founder, Giuseppe, some of you, if you're familiar with the expert network business, nowadays it's the darling of the private equity world. So his background is in expert network company called Third Bridge, and he brings that experience to what we do. And he's in charge of the network building, both in the school side and the mentor side. And my third co-founder, Ariel, who's in charge of curriculum. And for those of you who are in the international school market or the industry, you may have heard of United World College. She was a counselor at United World College in Hong Kong, and she's an alum of that. And as you may have been able to tell from my accent, all of us are international. That's why we're going to international schools, and we're staying laser focused. Our backers are long-term educators and leaders coming from some of the
Jenna,
top.
Your time is up now. Please finish up and keep in mind you're using your feedback time from now on.
Yeah, sure. So we did more than 100K revenue in 2020, and we're projected to do 400K in 2021. I'm going to skip all these. And so we're raising 1 million, and we are EIS eligible, and we have 70% of the fund already committed. We're looking to close our round in May, and we're looking for vision and purpose-driven partners. If you're interested, join the journey, and thanks a million for listening.
Would like to hear feedback and questions from the judges.
Hi, Jenna. Thanks so much for that. My question would be primarily around who are your mentors that you get in, and who runs the test prep? And obviously, if you're giving some of this away for free, like how are you compensating them to make sure that your unit economics work?
Yeah, so we have two types of mentors. Currently, we have 300 of them on board. And the one type is called what we call industry mentors. So these are all the pro bono mentors. And they do their sessions for free when we do these workshops and webinars. And they work anywhere from 1 hour to 4 hours a month. And then they accepted our conditions and offer to do that. And what we call the academic mentors are your tutors, and then they are paid $60 per hour, and we charge $165 for hourly rate to our student. How do we source them? So this is where we all know that like hiring and maintaining the high quality talent is really difficult in the education field. So sort of using my background, we built a what we call mentor searcher. So it's a LinkedIn scraper embedded with, we also built our own international school database and recommender, because Sarah, I know that you're investing in edtech. So then you may know that the international school side of the things, there's no single source of truth, because it's not like you can go to a Ministry of Education and get the list of the schools. So we built our own. So once you embed those two together, when we scrape the LinkedIn, when we put the right search criteria, and then we embed the international school background as the search criteria. And we use the number of years of their experience as our search criteria as well, because we want younger mentors to be able to go to our students. By doing so, we can search any type of mentors and any type of background. And then our hit rate is also very high because we're targeting the international school graduates. And then we ask them, hey, you did IB in X country, would you like to come help with our student? Then they typically say yes.
I think Sarah is having technical issues, but we have 1 more minute. Any other questions or feedback from other judges? Martin, Thomas, Stefan, would like to hear something from you.
What countries are you actually targeting on? Jenna?
Yeah, great question. So we strategically targeted GCC countries, and we started out in Hong Kong, my co-founder being from Hong Kong. So Hong Kong was our pilot market, and then we targeted GCC countries. And currently our revenue, 70% of our revenue comes from our target strategic markets, and 30% comes from opportunistic market. We have some revenue from UK, some revenue from other parts of the world. We have 12 countries represented. And the reason for targeting GCC is we looked at the growth of the international school market, and this market is growing, exponentially. In 2000, there were 2,000 schools. Right now, there's 12,000. It's expected to grow to 19,000 as of 2027. And most of the growth, unlike what people would imagine that it's from Asia, it's actually coming from the Middle East. So we strategically targeted in GCC, and we're seeing some early benefits.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Jenna. Your time is up now. I'm sure you can catch up later with the judges. And up next, we have Ando from happaning.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. I need to share my screen. Perfect. So if a picture... Okay, brilliant, thank you. So if a picture tells 1,000 words and video 1,000 pictures, then what could we do with 1,000 videos? My name's Ando, founder, CEO, and this is happening.
That night was epic, but these clips won't take me back again. Sliding through these feeds just to see what they were capturing, saddening. Cause if happening, there's another way. Now I'm on this wave like the other day. Swipe, this is happening. You swipe, check it. Happen is the app where you create and you share content. You can move around it like taking you there. You just swipe, I make it real clear. You wanna get to know. Happen is like using Street View up with video. Swipe. There we go, swipe. Swiping through the audiences, you saw the difference. Multi-variety videos, what just call them vivid. Swipe like you bought tickets to performances, just swipe. Right, listen, so if you rate truth, it's suspected fake news. Why not get a second perspective and change views? Just swipe in the direction that you want to change views. Swipe and see what they say. And if you where the pride is, take you to the heart. You've even got pins marking out of the market to say, the half of it is after this done. That's why you want the market, the sort of part. You just swipe. Start in the front, you just swipe. So when was the last time you wanted to throw it back again? Come jump on this wave, this is happening.
Now, I probably could have said all of that in just a few slides, but there's a reason a majority of people today will watch a video. With it accounting for 80% of all online traffic, it's fair to say our appetite for videos is insatiable. Yes, videos are a great way of telling a story, but it can also be quite limiting. Let me ask you this. Who'd watch a video if they had a time machine, stay with me, to take them there and live or relive those experiences? Perhaps even see things they missed from the first time round. Now, before you dismiss time travel as a thing of the future, that future is happening. So what's happening? Happening lets you interactively watch an event from any vantage, at any time and from anywhere in one immersive, navigable experience. Think Google Street View, but with video. We call it multi-vantage videos, or simply Vivids. And our proprietary Vivid technology synchronizes multiple video feeds by time, location, audio-visual cues with a real-time codec. But let's consider some of the wider applications from navigating film scenes of VR to security, police body cam, judiciary evidence, and even journalism. Because in an age of deep fakes, why rely on just one perspective? Yes, the possibilities are endless. But for now, we're focusing Vivid technology on the demographics where we anticipate viral growth, namely event goers. This because our Gen Z focus groups have all indicated that not only use our platform, but also encourage their friends to. So where are we now? Having personally created an award-winning proof of concept myself and filed for patent protection, we've recently onboarded some commercial partnerships and launched our oversubscribed alpha release to a network of student micro-influencers. But I've not done this alone. Starting with myself, 10 years engineering experience as principal consultant at BAE Systems, delivering digital transformation for major telcos, Magic Circle law firms, various other national security and government bodies. But as the proud inventor of Vivids, I'm also supported by an award-winning cast of digital strategists, record-breaking serial entrepreneurs, and even in our engineer room, we've got 50 years experience by some of the UK's leading technologists, including the head of cybersecurity for the Department of Transport and the previous digital architect for the Houses of Parliament and the Home Office. And together we're nearing completion of an MVP that will disrupt media consumption as we know it. But this is where we need your help. We're entering into a market right when the world needs us. Because of COVID, our technology represents the best way of being somewhere without physically being there. And one of the only countermeasures against deep fake videos, which is lurking on the horizon. Our brand is disruptive, hugely memorable, and resonates with our target audience. We've secured SCIS Advanced Assurance and are raising 500,000 right now. This isn't just an exciting opportunity. This is happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ando. Judges, feel free to give feedback and ask any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much, Ando. A great video, I think. I was just wondering, is your product live already?
We're currently running an alpha release so it was actually oversubscribed. So we built the thing. First, I built the proof of concept, then we built the alpha, which is essentially an enterprise solution. And we sent some invites around. We allocated for about 10, but we were oversubscribed, close to 100 volunteers. So we've onboarded 3 focus groups, each with 10 student micro-influencers, and they're currently testing our application. Our intention is to launch a beta in time for this summer's festival season, and that will have the potential to scale infinitely, essentially.
What would a player like Twitch stop from doing this? I mean, they focus on an entirely different group at the moment, but...
Yeah, it's a good question. So we currently own 2 patent publications for our technology, our multi-vantage video. But to be honest, it's not just Twitch. There are loads of other massive giants who are in this space. But I guess our approach to this is we see a lot of partnership opportunities. Yes, we own the IP. We've got UK publication for a patent and also one with the World IPO Office. But again, we see plenty of opportunity for partnerships with video platforms. And indeed, we're actually talking to some at the moment.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Additional feedback from the judges or questions?
First of all, great presentation. Question I have, you mentioned that you could address the deepfake video issue. Could you just be more specific there?
I love the fact that you've answered this, and not many people do. So there are essentially 3 measures that we put in place. 2 of them are built into the fabric of technology, and 1 of them is about sort of the way people use it. So because of the peer-to-peer mesh network, essentially what we have is we have a decentralized network, think blockchain. And what that basically means is you've got 2 peers, both validating that they are both where they say they are. But also with our synchronization codec, they can also determine whether or not the videos themselves have been doctored in post-edit. Now, the third thing that we do is, as a user yourself, you have the ability, whilst you're watching a video, if you don't believe what you're seeing, but in real life, you would get another perspective. And in the same way, if you're looking at something that you have doubts over, you can simply swipe in another direction and gain another perspective of what you're watching. So essentially it's what you do in real life. And we feel this decentralized way of validating videos will improve the veracity of what we see today. Great question, by the way. Really great question. I can geek out over this all day, by the way, so do carry on.
Thank you. And the other question I had is in terms of quality of the content, because between 5 different users, you might get completely different quality of the video. How do you address this issue?
So this is something which is definitely a challenge of ours, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's something we've solved now, but the discussions are ongoing. And essentially, some of the things that we're doing is we are gamifying the whole network such that the higher quality vantages, or the vantages which are most quote unquote happening, will essentially be encouraged. So you as a user will be encouraged to capture higher quality videos, or to capture advantages that people would actually want to see. So essentially it's about how do we encourage our users to create quality content. It's also worth saying that we've also got partnerships with event operators, 300 event operators, as well as award-winning content creators. And the idea being it's not just user-generated content which we're leveraging in our Vivid network, we're also leveraging professional content, professionally shot content with the same navigable experience like Google Street View, but with video.
For one question or feedback from someone, feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
Thank you very much.
Maybe Sarah, do you have any questions or feedback?
Nothing on this, but thank you for a very good presentation, Ando.
Much appreciated. It's been a pleasure.
So just one last question, Ando. So you mentioned you want to focus on events, so gigs, I presume. Have you thought about sport events where I could see myself willing to share sort of atmosphere of a stadium?
Yeah, 100%. It's one of our strongest use cases. We actually have advisors onboarded that are currently delivering directly into global sporting federations. And yeah, those conversations remain ongoing. It's a very competitive space, admittedly, but it's something we're very interested in, and we feel we're very well positioned to capitalize on with our technology and network as well.
Because would that be regulated, since you also have rights for football matches and etc.?
That essentially is the challenge there, because of the amount of money that goes through, say, for instance, Premier League. They are very competitive in terms of, they're very protective rather of their content. So unless we have those agreements in place, we wouldn't do it. But as I said, we do have roots into the right people and the decision makers in some very notable sporting federations.
Thank you, Ando. Your time is up now. Thank you for the great pitch, and thank you
so
for
much.
the feedback and questions from the judges. So up next, we have Chris from AirFunders.
Let's get started. My name is Chris Turnbull, and I have founded AirFunders after a varied career in financial services over the last 25 years. AirFunders is a startup pen tech company providing the established world of consumer loyalty with a new purpose: to encourage and enable more people to put more money into pensions. Using open banking, we help individuals generate micro contributions of cash back when they spend with retail partners. We recognize that not all people are able to save, generally due to low income, but everybody spends in their own way and with retailers and hospitality venues that they value. Our model seeks to assist those caught up in the poverty premium, which sees household living costs rise simply because of low income. This can cost low-income households around £600 a year to extra simply because they are poor. Imagine if these households could be saving this money every year rather than having to spend it. Poverty follows people through their lives, and an inability to save helps create the pension gap for individuals who are left without enough pension saving when they retire. The ethos of AirFunders is to help consumers build long-term savings towards their pension and to make this saving frictionless and effortless for consumers. We ring-fence the savings for consumers and therefore operate a cashback program that does not just give cashback that can be spent with a competitor, but instead is collected by AirFunders and invested for members, allowing them to benefit from the compounding of investment returns over time. Entitlements would then be transferred to a member's pension, such as their workplace pension linked to their employer, with associated tax relief. We can therefore work with employers, providing an extra benefit for their employees. A retailer can then be part of a loyalty program with a good social purpose that benefits employees and also brings in custom to increase revenue. AirFunders can bring real benefits to caring brands, enabling them to add to their auto-enrollment contributions and therefore move closer to becoming a living pension employer. If retailers, their employees and their customers all benefit, it can be a win-win-win for all sides. Our addressable market is the entire UK workforce, particularly those on lower incomes where saving for later life is difficult. The point that we are at now is that we have our open banking platform built and tested, allowing us to track expenditure with brands and create offers for our user base, meeting the criteria set by those brands. We are now seeking external capital for the first time to increase our engagement with brands for member acquisition and also for legal work. Fintech saving is gaining a lot of interest currently from investors, and the AirFunders model provides a unique opportunity to help those in need of assistance save for retirement through their transaction data. Last week, we saw the best ever pitch on Dragon's Den gaining investment to help the public benefit from their data. And on Monday, we saw the debut of PensionBee on the LSE high growth segment, a stunning debut for a company that is loss-making and has its value in the future. These are the areas that we are directly involved in and with a great opportunity to exploit. And I would invite you to take a closer look at our deck and invite any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris, for the pitch. We would love to hear feedback and questions from the judges now.
Okay, so again, hopefully you can hear me. Thanks for the presentation. The question was on how much in your planning model can average customer actually save per year by cashbacks, to get an idea on how much he can really contribute to his pension funds, if that's relevant at all.
It really is all about traction. It's all about gaining a wide church of retailers that will do this.
Veronica, we need you to mute, please.
our modelling suggests that we can probably reach about 30 to 40 pounds of cashback for an individual. Now, that's clearly not massive for somebody that's on a high income, but for somebody who's on the national average UK income of 25,000, who is probably contributing about £130 a month to their pension, that is tangible. It's about a 30 to 40% increase.
I can't see any of the other judges. Are the other judges all still here? Are you guys still in the event? I can only see Stefan. Okay, awesome.
Still there.
I have one question. So, are you competing with the likes of Moneybox as well?
No, we actually see ourselves as being able to work alongside Moneybox. The reason for that is Box does is save people's own money. What we're doing is getting cashback from retailers, which is held in one pot for everybody, and we therefore have the ability to alter the outcomes for everybody and therefore help some of the poorer people in society. We also give people the ability to leave money in the pot for other people. So although we're in the same space as Moneybox, we see ourselves as being complementary rather than competing.
Okay. Because Moneybox is not having a similar investment solution as you are planning to offer.
Well, Moneybox's main element is obviously rounding up people's expenditure. So if somebody spends £90 on a coffee, they'll round it up to £3. What we do with that coffee that costs £2.90 is we would have a deal with the retailer that sees them giving us a cash back on that £2.90. So it's not actually your money that's being invested, it's money that's coming from the retailer.
Got it. Thank you.
Additional questions or feedback from the judges? As we still have 1 minute left, maybe Thomas has something to say, or Martin, Sarah, Stefan.
So maybe just a feedback. As you heard from my question, I would be a bit skeptical that you reach the stage that for the person or your customer can really imagine that there's relevant money coming together to bind himself to your solution. So that's probably one of the challenges.
I think it's not about, this shouldn't be seen as being the solution. What we are is an addition. So what most people have is the pension gap. They have a gap between what they have and what they need. And our job is to actually what they have to help them close that pension gap.
And does it somehow advise users to spend more to invest? Because if you get my point.
I think it's not about getting people to spend more, it's about actually getting people to spend just normally. And if we can build enough relationships with retailers, then as they spend normally, as they always do, then that's the way that they build up their contributions. And it's also, as I say, it's not all about disposable income. It's about helping people with low disposable income gain a bit more from the expenditure of other people as well. Responsible, it's about looking for people to want to help society and help some of the people within society who are struggling and not able to save, and do so in a way that is actually frictionless for them.
Great,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Chris. Your time is up now, but I'm sure you can catch up later with the judges. So we have one last startup that is not here, but I would like to share his deck, and any questions and feedback that you have, it would be great if you could share it, because he would appreciate it.
So I think a great way of doing this is for the judges to kind of stay in here and to kind of walk through issues like, how would you look at this deck if it came into your inbox? I assume, Veronica, we're not doing a pitch anymore. Is that right? Okay. So yeah, well, instead of just scrolling through it, why don't we look through it as, you know, as you guys do, and kind of walk through your thinking and what stands out to you, what you don't like about it, rather than just scrolling through it, because we can all see it, right? Judges, are you there?
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think let's just go through this as if you were opening this up in your inbox. Veronica, are you still there? You just vanished. Uh-oh.
Can you
Oh, okay.
And then you should go through it.
Yeah, you need. Let's do this, guys. Could you guys come off on mute? Help me out here. Help me out here. You guys are making this really hard. Like, all the judges have disappeared. What's going on, guys? I've lost all of you. There we go.
And Andrew,
Yeah.
thanks for this, but I need to jump off. But I will catch up with the founder in person, maybe, or like in person, one-on-one on LinkedIn. Maybe that's a better idea for me.
Okay. If you need to go, then you need to go.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
We're not exactly sure what happened to the founder. I think what would help is for the folks, you know, who are still watching in the audience, and for this person who's made the deck, to go through it with the analysis that you would as a VC. So why don't we, Veronica? Why don't we start at the first page? And if there's no feedback, then we'll move to the second page. So starting here, what do you like? What do you dislike?
Sorry, as I said before, I look at ed tech. So this is, and in Europe, so this is totally outside of my remit. So I don't think I'm going to be able to provide much helpful feedback. Yeah, if there's anyone that needs feedback on those specific sectors, please, you know, very happy to be reached out to. But
you can't just give feedback on a deck.
I mean, I can give a general what a deck should look like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay. Totally okay. If you don't want to input, that's all right.
Maybe we should continue going through the deck, because otherwise it doesn't make sense, right?
Folks are feeling awkward. I'm not sure why, guys. It's just we're just looking for feedback.
Yeah, sure.
Unfortunately, the founder didn't show.
Yeah.
So I thought we could take the opportunity to give general feedback that might benefit all founders who are still watching in the audience. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for anything fancy, but please, I totally respect if you don't want to input in this industry, Sarah. I respect that.
I think Andy just
in general, maybe to help you out. I mean, I think visually it looks good, but it's very difficult if we are just on slide 2 to give a general feedback. I mean, marketplaces in sourcing absolutely makes sense, and this sector which is addressed here obviously is one of the key sectors who's not really digitalized yet. So yeah, let's go ahead through it.
I mean, Andy, one comment on my side. I quickly reviewed the deck, and basically I did invest in a similar business almost 10 years ago in one of my previous job in a Russian company. Don't ask me how and why, but we invested in a Russian company, and felt to me like there was nothing new with that business, or nothing new that really came out of the pitch. So I would have loved hearing from the founder there, and just explain to us what is so unique about their business and or what they want to build here. And I mean, it's not your fault, but it's a bit frustrating. Not
Can you scroll a bit more, Veronica? We're still on this slide. Yeah, I'm not seeing any differentiators. I would say that's a big thing missing from the deck. I mean, we're on page 6 or 7, and right now there's nothing saying kind of their progress, their differentiation. I'm not clear if these customers have paid or kind of what traction they have. Or customer feedback are there? Wait, Veronica, go back up to the one right before this. Okay. Maybe this is an important slide. Do these seem like good choices for what their traction for what investors would care about? Do investors care about leaders, process, and total transactions? Because those seem like kind of baloney numbers. Like the important numbers would be their revenue, their profit, maybe. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, true. But as a startup, you always try to put the most attractive and highest numbers in front of us. So I quite often see whatever transaction value, ACV, billings, or whatever. But on the other side, I would probably do the same being a founder to present good numbers. What I'm missing here, actually, from the very beginning, I have no real idea what the solution is. I see a problem, yes, of course. And they say it's a marketplace. Yes, that usually helps. But what exactly is it doing? So it's very hard to tell without the guy really presenting his solutions.
It should be clear, right? If we're 10 pages in and we're not clear on what they're doing, I mean that's not a good deck.
Exactly.
Right? If you're not clear 10 pages in what the company is, that's a problem. Should be clear on page.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they have a specific ask on here. Can you guys talk about some of the issues you have with this? I've heard a lot of opinions on valuation in a deck. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on that. I don't want to shift the room, but what is your opinion on having a valuation in a deck in addition to an ask?
I don't really care about valuations from within decks, and I don't like it because at the end, the final price or valuation of a startup is the result of demand and supply, basically. Yeah? And so it's not a good impression to place valuation by yourself.
Yeah, I just add on that, the only time that I'd expect to see a valuation is if they found a lead investor and the lead investor has set the valuation. And therefore it's like, they're trying to fill the round, and therefore, you take that valuation. But otherwise, unless it is here, it's, I mean, it's a convertible note, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense. I would also expect 20% discount for a convertible note, but that these may not be market standard in this space. The same with the valuation; it seems quite high. But yeah, that's from my perspective. I may be totally wrong in this space, but yeah, I'd say seeing a valuation, I would only expect that if they found a lead investor.
I think I'm curious on convertible notes. If you can go back up, Veronica, to that one. Is this fairly normal in a pitch deck these days when folks are reaching out to VCs? Is this becoming the norm? I thought it was mostly for. Is it like for later stage, like when you already have a lot of traction and progress? Am I wrong? Like, who should be doing a convertible note? Folks who already have investment and are looking kind of for add-on? Maybe
yeah,
nobody.
I mean, I can just jump in on.
Maybe nobody
Oh.
should be doing a convertible.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in on that and just say generally we see it around bridge rounds, but actually it's something that's becoming increasingly common. And I think one of the reasons for that is that, you know, Y Combinator started the safe model where, you know, at a very early stage they get 150K on a safe note. And so I think, you know, we also do see it at a very early stage. At this stage, I would expect it to be equity at a sort of $1 million seed round, unless it is sort of a bridge. But yeah, without being able to, you know, ask the founder why, I'm sure there is a why. So yeah.
Should be in here though, if this deck is being sent off. And you have to follow up to get the explanation. I mean, I'm not clear on what investment has happened so far and what stage this is at, which is gonna. I always feel like if you're making VCs do a bunch of work, it's less likely they're going to respond unless it just seems like an amazing opportunity.
We hardly see convertible notes at an early stage. We mainly see them as a bridge round. I recently started to see them, but it's rare. And we as VCs prefer definitely to have an equity round. My colleagues in the US, the situation is different. Most of their VC investments are actually convertible notes.
Next page, Veronica, and tell us how much time we have left for the 10 as well when you have a chance. I'm very curious about this. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Veronica.
One
she
minute.
disappeared again.
1 minute.
We have a minute left. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so what do you feel about the funds allocations separate from everything else? First of all, why is it so tiny? I'm just so curious why the legal business, like every word is so tiny. Like there's a lot of room on the slide. Why are you making the explanation of spending the money so hard to read? I find that interesting. So I'm not clear on what capital fund is, like straight off the bat. I have just no idea what that is. With a K. Is this pretty normal for a seed round where the funds are going? 60% salaries, 6% legal, 10% subscriptions, cloud.
I'd say a large proportion going to product development is quite normal. Yeah, I think at seed stage, you'd expect to see a lot of money going into product.
I would also love to see funds going into sales and marketing, but it strongly depends on how your accounting system looks like. In the Anglo-Saxon, you have the sales and marketing related spends under sales and marketing, but obviously they have all salaries in one bulk here, along with product development.
Let's go to the next, Veronica, since we're almost out of time here. What else do we have left? So we've got a good description of the team. I like that they have advisors. I mean, it's nice to show that people are taking it seriously enough to care.
Time is up now. Should I just scroll down?
Yeah, well, stay on this one. Let's just get feedback on the team, and then we can close off. Just because we got off to a slow start trying to get the deck up and everything. What I've noticed is that it's like a lot of text. It's not clear immediate. Like you have to really work to find the information. Like you have to go read that paragraph if you want to find out the qualifications. And I feel like it should be. Team is so important at early stage for pre-seed and seed. It should be immediately available. Like, what are the past companies they've been a part of? What are those qualifications? Like, an easy to see, as opposed to a whole paragraph written. That's what I've noticed, but I would love your guys' opinion on what's important on kind of team slides.
I mean, I'd say as long as, you know, here they've got the relevant qualifications. I think written like this is fine. Obviously, it's easier if you can see logos, but this wouldn't bother me at all. I think, you know, it's seeing that there's a founder market fit is really important. So it's that they've got the right competencies and the right skills, and potentially something, you know, that edge with an experience or something. But yeah, I mean, written like this is, to me, this is clear.
If you look at the experience, I mean, it looks like he founded a number of companies, but I'm seeing a number of degrees, experience working at a hedge fund in Merrill Lynch, but the company is like a logistics company, right? For me, there's not really a match. I don't know if there's a match there, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, maybe logos aren't as important as I thought. Any final thoughts, Stefan or Thomas?
Yeah, it's all said. I prefer to have the key information more easily digestible than this.
I think one advice to founder building their pitch. There are a few examples of famous pitch like Airbnb that has been done in the past, which are very simple, and use it as a template. This is really just a basis for a conversation. It's just to get the attention of the investor. Please keep in mind that they are seeing a lot of those. So every time I'm seeing a slide with a lot of text, it just turned me off completely. So don't do that. Simple slides, a couple of figures, and you know, that do the job. You won't sell with your with the deck. It's just to attract attention and be as a basis for a conversation.
It's great advice, Thomas and Sarah and Stefan. I appreciate you guys given some tips, even though it's a weird format without a founder. Thanks for being willing. You know, I'm not sure what happened, but you guys gave just great tips and feedback all throughout the whole evening. I know that everyone in the audience appreciates it. We still have, you know, 15 audience members watching, hearing your feedback. So people are listening, and they do appreciate it. So thank you all for giving your time. Veronica, is there anything I'm missing other than as people jump into networking?
No, it's all good. Thank you to every single startup that speech today, and thank you to all of the judges for your great feedback and questions. So next we have networking session, and you can click on sessions on your left-hand side, and you will see the networking area. So this is a great chance to catch up with all of the startups and with the judges, and I hope to see you all there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.